live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A woman dies this morning after a shooting in Rockford. It happened just hours after an unrelated officer-involved shooting in the city. An organization brings awareness to kidney disease. Certain groups are more impacted by it. And it's National Astronomy Day. Space Case Sarah was at the Discovery Center to celebrate. Good evening, I'm Taylor Castro. Thanks for joining us tonight. A 32-year-old woman has died from injuries sustained in an early morning shooting. Rockford police responded to 7th Street and 8th Avenue just before 2 a.m. Sunday for reports of shots fired. A man and woman were shot. The 33-year-old man was taken to the hospital. His injuries were not life-threatening. Police announced that the woman succumbed to her injuries around 9:30 this morning. Police now say it is a homicide investigation. Her identity will be revealed by the Winnebago County Coroner's Office at a later time. An officer-involved shooting Saturday night leaves a 17-year-old with non-life-threatening injuries. 2 Rockford police officers are on administrative leave while the Winnebago-Boone County Task Force investigates. It happened on the 4,000 block of St. Anne's Way near Gambino Park before 8 p.m. Saturday. Police responded to a domestic disturbance call over the teen. 4 officers encountered the 17-year-old in the basement armed with 2 knives. Officials say one officer shot the teen as he came forward and the other officer tased him. They called for an ambulance. Police also say they believe the teen was involved in a multi-car crash earlier that night at Spring Creek and Alpine Road. That incident is still under investigation. We will provide updates here and on mystateline.com when we find out more. The National Kidney Foundation of Illinois hosted an informational meeting about the disease. It's a part of a campaign called Kidney Health for Life, which is supposed to bring awareness to African American, Hispanic, and Asian populations that are more impacted by kidney disease. Amory Wilder has more. Amory.
Taylor, organizers tell me everything starts with education. For this campaign, they wanted to reach a captive audience, and what better way to do it than through the church?
You know the old adage, if you knew better, you'd do better. So we're here to make sure that people understand the risks.
Minister Sandra Robinson Cunningham partners with Sarah Jane Castro and the Kidney Foundation of Illinois to educate people across the state about kidney disease. They hosted a community health talk at St. Luke Missionary Baptist Church on Sunday.
1 in 3 people are at risk, and that number is increased in Black and brown communities.
Dr. John Maynard is a kidney specialist. According to the doctor, cultural foods is only part of the reason certain populations are more at risk.
Kidney disease can be more common in ethnic groups because of more diabetes, more hypertension, less access to medical care, and these medical and physical and social problems just come together, and we see more chronic kidney disease and less treatment.
Pastor Louis Malone knows about this all too well. He says at St. Luke Missionary Baptist Church, it's not just about religion.
I contracted Agent Orange in Vietnam, and so a few years, about 20 years ago, I guess, diabetes came up. High blood pressure a little bit before that, about 3 years before that. So it's important for me because I'm in the same situation. And then there are many in our congregation that are in the same situation. And so we wanted to make sure we get as much information as we can to them.
Ways to help your kidneys include regular exercise, a healthy diet, and no smoking. Taylor?
Thanks, Amory. World War II Days took place this weekend at Midway Village Museum. The military reenactment is the largest in the Midwest and brings thousands of visitors to the Rockford region every year. Visitors can see the 1940s displays in historical buildings at the museum. The campus has transformed into a European village during the World War II era. There were authentic vehicles, uniforms, and weapons. Staff say they love coming out and doing this each year.
It never gets old. This is something new every year, and there's so much to see, so many different encampments, and nope, it just never gets old.
Organizers say they saw record numbers of attendees at this year's event. A ceremony for a Rock Valley College professor who died last December. The college and Rockford Interfaith Council held a bench dedication for Kanwal Prashar today. It took place in the atrium in the Student Center. 5 religious leaders had a conversation about religious violence and acceptance. They said it's important to listen to others and to honor different traditions with understanding. It was all in honor of Prashar and the example he set.
This was his shrine. This whole place is about his teaching, and this place, and all these young people that have been affected by his teaching.
A bench at the college was dedicated to Prashar. Today is National Astronomy Day, and the Discovery Center celebrated with a planetarium show and other space-related demonstrations. NASA Ambassador Space Case Sarah talked about NASA's plans to send humans to the Moon and Mars. There were other activities like designing a Mars rover, creating moon art, and learning about telescopes with the Rockford Amateur Astronomers Club.
I really like to emphasize that we often feel this big separation between us here on Earth and out there is space, right? That there's this big disconnect, but that's totally not true. We are a part of space. We are on spaceship Earth, and we are, hurtling through this universe with everything else in space. And so I think that I really always like to make sure people understand how close space is.
Space Case Sarah also emphasizes how much opportunity there is in the space industry. She encourages kids to explore our universe and our world. Speaking of space, one of NASA's projects is set to make history Monday evening. It's not the Artemis 1 rocket launch. That was delayed to Tropical Storm Ian. The Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, is set to take place just before 6:15 tomorrow. It's the world's first planetary defense effort to change the path of an asteroid and prevent it from hitting the Earth. Monday's test involves a golf cart-sized spacecraft smashing head-on into a moonlet the size of a football stadium. Officials emphasize this is only a test and the asteroid has no chance of hitting Earth. Tropical Storm Ian could soon be a major hurricane. The system could roar to a Category 4 before making landfall along the Florida coast. Morgan Norwood is near Tampa, where preparations for Ian's impact are underway.
Tonight, Florida bracing for a brush with Ian, the tropical storm system churning in the Caribbean and gaining strength with every hour.
That will become a hurricane very soon, certainly within the next 24 hours, and it will likely be a major hurricane very soon.
Ian now taking aim at Florida, with Governor Ron DeSantis declaring a state of emergency, activating more than 2,500 National Guardsmen to respond to the storm, urging everyone else to prepare as quickly as they can.
Don't think that if you're not in that eye that somehow you don't have to make preparations, because the last thing we would want to see is it start to really bear east quickly and then have folks who are not prepared.
Near Orlando, residents scrambling for supplies and groceries.
I know that they're limiting water. We thankfully got there at 7 a.m. when they opened, so there was still, some supply.
And in Gulfport, just outside of St. Pete Beach, people there soaking up the last bit of sun before Ian closes in on the Gulf. And West Florida can expect to feel Ian's fury as soon as Wednesday, with many boat owners already preparing to bring their boats back to the marina as the storm approaches. For now, emergency officials working around the clock to stay ahead, tracking the storm's path and preparing for potential flooding.
Because of all the rain, making sure the culverts are clear, making sure that there's good drainage locations.
And as Floridians prepare for Ian, Canadians are reeling in the aftermath of Hurricane Fiona. Non-stop rain and near 100-mile-per-hour winds peeling off roofs, washing away homes, and knocking out power to hundreds of thousands. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Gulfport, Florida.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, it is nice to see some sunshine out there late this afternoon after we dealt with plenty of cloud cover and some heavy rainfall yesterday evening. We take a live look with our SkyTrack camera here out at the Park Hills Golf Course. Seeing some clearing taking place from west to east as that low pressure system continues to pull further away. Difference, though, in pressure has allowed our winds to kind of pick up a little more this afternoon, gusting at about 25 miles per hour. Sustained wind really anywhere from 10 up to 20 miles per hour. We were pretty thick in the cloud cover early on. We had some breaks flakes here and there. Now we're starting to see that drier air begin to work in, but we do have a couple of showers up to the northwest. With the return of some sunshine, though, our temperatures have been able to hit that 70-degree mark in a few spots, Rockford included. 68 right now in Freeport, 67 in Monroe, 70 our current temperature in Janesville, 69 for our weather watcher Jim here in Rockford. Dew point temperature very low, down to 52. So a lot of dry air in place. I mentioned some showers and a few thunderstorms up to the northwest of us. We see some of that kind of activity working to the north of Madison. All of this kind of moving to the southeast. So I don't think that is going to be too much of an impact on us here as we go through this evening. Underneath some of the cloud cover, especially east of Rockford, you may get a sprinkle or a very light shower through sunset, but things are going to stay pretty quiet for the majority of the area here as we go through the night tonight. Temperatures, once we hit that 9 o'clock hour, will drop down into the upper 50s, right around that 60-degree mark. We do hold on to that wind, so we're not going to see the wind die down completely here. Not going to be as strong as what it was earlier today, but wind speeds will still maintain at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, which will make our 40s feel a little cool tomorrow morning. We start off with some sunshine, but by the afternoon, we'll see the cloud cover begin to build back in. Winds will actually pick up during the day tomorrow, so it gets a little gusty tomorrow. They subside a bit Monday night into Tuesday. I think Monday night we're down in the low 40s. We'll see some sunshine return once we get into Tuesday afternoon. High temperatures upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. So not a lot of warmth coming up for Tuesday. Tuesday night, that overnight low could actually fall back into the 30s. And it's both Tuesday night and Wednesday night where we could actually have the potential for some patchy frost. Wind speeds, however, still going to stay with us. Notice tomorrow morning gusting around 20 miles per hour. That wind speed will pick up 25 to 30 during the afternoon, comes down a little bit Monday night into Tuesday. Tuesday, you've got a wind gusting to around 20 miles per hour. Wind speed does come down just a bit. Let's look at Tropical Storm Ian. You heard there just before the break. As this a little disorganized right at the moment. We've still got some thunderstorms kind of forming right around that, but over the next 24 hours, it is expected to go through a quick strengthening of that system, becoming potentially a Category 1 hurricane within the next 24 hours, and then strengthening as it does continue to move kind of to the north and northeast before potentially making impact there along the coastline from the Panhandle all the way down through southwest Florida. That's kind of the area that we're watching, so keeping a close eye on that. That may actually help to warm our temperatures, believe it or not, going into the weekend and early next week. From 47 tonight up to 63 tomorrow, we'll maintain those 60s and even the 50s here by the time we get into Wednesday, but we see those numbers climb back into the 70s once we get into the weekend.
Now sports with Reagan Holgate.
It was the return of Lovie Smith to Soldier Field along with his winless Texans, and they'll leave still looking for their first win. Bears take this one down to the wire and they get it 23-20. But Scott, not the best football we've ever seen, and especially not from Justin Fields.
Yeah, I felt coming into this game, if ever there was a game where the Bears would get their passing game going, it would be this one, because the Texans came into this game with the 31st, next to last, worst defense in the NFL. So if you can't throw the ball against the Texans, who can you throw the ball against? Justin Fields obviously didn't get it done. A lot of his passes, he not only missed, he missed badly. He was very inaccurate and, of course, had the 2 picks.
And then we look, David Montgomery went down early in the first quarter. We thought that was going to be a big loss, but then comes in Khalil Herbert, and he goes for 157 yards today and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Bears lose a lot when they lose Montgomery and Herbert steps in. In fact, I think Herbert's more elusive, and in some ways, he's a better option at running back. It does hurt their depth. But, yeah, he just tore it up today. And without him in that running game, which now for 2 weeks in a row has looked really good, but without that running productivity today, the Bears don't win this football game.
And you hear this all the time, that big-name guys make big plays in those big moments when they need to, and that is exactly what Roquan Smith did today to cap off an impressive performance.
16 tackles and the big interception at the end that really saved their bacon. You know, Roquan's in a contract year, and the coaches and Ryan Poles, the GM, not 100% convinced that he is worthy of that new contract. I think he showed them something today with this performance. He's going to be motivated the rest of the year to come up with big performances like he did today.
Let's take a listen to what some of the guys had to say post-game. We'll start with Roquan.
No, it was pretty sweet just being able, like I couldn't believe he threw it and just being able to catch it, and then I felt like if I would have had a little more juice in me, I could have cribbed it, but hey, I was just thankful to be able to get it and let the fans enjoy the ball.
He's a great player, put the game away. It's great to see him, glad he got out there and made his plays.
O-line did a really great job of just opening up stuff for us. You know, it's my job to make the defenders miss, the safeties miss, the corners miss. And, you know, I was able to do that on some occasions today.
I played straight up. I just played like, I want to say the A word, but I'm not going to do that. But I just played like trash. Played terrible, and really just got to be better.
The guys did a great job of executing when they needed to in the second half of this game, and coming up with obviously the big interception at the end to seal the deal, and then you know, the kick by Cairo to get the win. And that's the biggest takeaway for us, is just being resilient.
Resilient. That was the word that Matt Eberflus used, and that is exactly what the Bears were today.
Yeah, the Bears are going to have to make plays at the end if they want to win some football games, and really Cairo Santos I think is going to be huge this year because this offense is not gifted enough to score a lot of touchdowns. They're going to need a lot of field goals. Cairo Santos has to come through, and he did 3 times today, and they're at the clutch at the end. So, yeah, that's what the Bears are going to need a whole lot more of.
The Bears move to 2-0 at home. That's sports here from Soldier Field. We'll be right back.
First Warning Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Keeping an eye on some thunderstorms that are moving just to the north and northeast of Madison. They actually just put out a severe thunderstorm warning north of Rock and Walworth County. So any storms that could move through would likely move across southeast Wisconsin. Staying dry for the rest of the week.
Thanks, Candace. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you at 10.